Fantastic. If we're up, we're up. That's beautiful. Now, can I get into this and verify that I sent Brian the Zoom link?
I think someone just tried to get in the back door already. Did you want that unlocked yet, or?
Oh, yeah, it needs to be unlocked. I just hadn't gotten it done. Where is his email? It's on his.
And just a reminder, all board TVs are broadcasting.
Yes. Lee Spencer. Yes. Okay, where's that Zoom? Hey. View, full screen. Beautiful.
That could sound silly, but I take it you already know how to admit people and all that jazz.
Yes, but I do have problems with getting the screen set up the way I want it to.
How do you want it? Because that might be a challenge.
So what we're gonna want tonight is we're gonna want Brian Spencer on there.
Oh, okay.
Nobody else matters. We want Brian Spencer to be big and visible.
Well, when he pops up, you should be able to there should be a way, since you're the host, you should go double click on his face and enlarge that. Actually, what you could do, you could connect with your phone, go into video, and I'll see if I can click on it. Is that okay? Is it your phone right there?
Hello, sir.
What's up today?
Look, we have IT, so we have working Zoom. Praise Jesus.
It is, well, I'm like, oh, it's working. There.
Yes, it's so
Wow.
exciting.
Sabotage got fixed.
Well, that technology is let's see, we're sort of recording right now, we're doing a test, and then
No, we're just leaving it running.
there is test dependent stuff, like, or sorry, time dependent stuff that happens whenever you plug it in.
Right.
And that's why I had problems, because this little tablet will have issues every now and then, but like, if you wait things out, plug things in, eventually something happens.
Oh, okay. But that doesn't explain why somebody got up in there and,
Well, I took a look at all that stuff and, yeah, I don't know.
yeah, somebody was messing with it, sure. It didn't used to be that way, you know.
Are you getting it figured out?
Well, we're just, the one thing we gotta test is whenever we have our Zoom guests on, make sure that we can enlarge your screen.
Okay, good. I got a question about IT guys. When you take over another person's stuff, you can figure out what they did. Okay. that's-
But you have to have, files are no matter what, from a default user, just because they right likely deleted it, it just means that
It's out. I know what
the
you're saying.
surface
I
level,
got you.
it's, yeah, there is a way, it just.
Okay. I
Well,
thought
that's
there was. Yes, yes.
Okay, so. Yeah, with two, it just goes to this one.
Okay, and then you have video, or you're just in phone call mode, right? You dialed in,
Yeah,
you didn't connect directly from the Zoom off your, well, that's the problem. You probably might want to get the Zoom app.
yeah, I don't do apps.
Okay.
I don't like them. But thank you.
I don't blame you. Let's see.
This is a little, oh, this is something more, or just this one?
That's just it. And then we have executive following.
Okay.
Oh, I gotta go back upstairs. I'm forgetting things.
Okay.
And, it's so much fun. I need to exercise anyway, so.
I'm glad to have you. on board, though. It's been a mess down here. for so
Anyway,
long.
Chase, William Price.
Oh, nice to meet you.
I worked with your brother at Plastics, and now he's at True, and I'm at True, and
Everybody's true now.
yeah, he was actually my quality controller. I'm sorry, HPI.
What's the building now that's where Ameren's facility is? What's that building they built on the other side of Ameren and Bowling Green? You got a True when you turn off the
The
road.
new garage.
Then you got
the garage.
Ameren, then you got that big building.
There's a brand new garage, 3-car. There used to be an old garage there. Now there's a 3-car garage, a new one. Is that the one you're talking about?
It's a big green building. You know what the turbines are, the CTGI gas turbine engines. As you go on 54. You know what the state is.
I know I do. But trying to think where.
Right there.
Where the substation is in town, right across the tracks?
Yeah.
Well,
Going up this way, it'll be on the right hand side.
Now you got me back. I'm gonna have to-
As soon as you cross the overpass there, you go by KTC or whatever.
Yeah.
And another 2 miles up the road, you'll go that overpass. which is number 61.
Oh, the big gray building?
Yeah.
That's, I'm sorry. That is Sparks Maintenance.
Contracting. Thank you. This is for later. LCDB. Or however you say it.
I turn it off and then I miss messages when I get home.
Yeah, what are you doing there?
They used to be in town across from the old Dairy Queen, kind of that.
Yeah, I got
Okay, so he did HVAC when that one he was doing basically maintenance. And it's not as big as it was gonna be. Yeah, so basically what he's doing is he is the general maintenance contractor. They do a lot of fabrication work too. So he's a maintenance contractor out of someplace in Iowa. So he just, instead of our guys going there, he just hired local guys there to work there.
Okay. That's what I told you.
So Bodine, he's got guys in Bodine, he's got places everywhere. We just lost one of our maintenance guys to him. And he's gonna be actually going and do the bids for him.
Okay.
Yeah, he's making good money.
Well, yeah, a building like that. Concrete alone is $500,000.
All right.
I messaged him. I mean, he's showing up. He said it'll work for right now.
I don't think that's a fair trade.
That's a very fair trade.
How's it going?
Slow but sure, Mike, but it's going. North, south, east, and west.
You know, actions speak louder than words.
He's right.
Yeah. I just prefer to hand.
The only time.
I
That's the only time to tell, right?
got Ronnie's too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do we have?
I'm doing a test right now, video.
Oh, it's live.
Okay, so here's the deal. Someone will join, will admit Click on their name, hit pin video, it should put them in the center.
No.
Give you your.
Mike, do you have questions you want to submit? I mean, to ask him whenever he gets on, when we do the open, when we do the question.
Put in place and I want a copy of the contract. That's all.
Okay. No.
I need that to,
Hey, how's it going?
After I had taken on my staff last week, I leave them home.
Amen.
Well, I started.
I actually learned that, last year's, Chamber of Commerce.
Oh, chamber. Okay.
I talked to him about that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't figure he had
My key.
We didn't.
No. I need that in writing from you.
We got minutes.
Yes, even if we have that, so you still don't want your fresh ink and signature on it. Okay?
Signed the seal for.
Hi. Good, how are you?
Robert and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you remember by myself, I'm like. Sometimes it's lost in chaos. Robert, come here about 4 years.
So now I don't want it to do that.
Well. Honorable thoughts of the
Thoughts?
Hit pin.
Okay, there we go. Okay. Hello, hello. Not yet, you're not, you're doing good.
We didn't have calls.
Oh, see what you're starting with.
Well, what's wrong with that one? 'Cause I can find it. It's on the front page. What? What, Matt? I didn't point that out from where I.
What did I do?
No, just the. Ain't the biggest thing.
It was funny.
You're too dry to be funny.
I just started and came off with Italian.
So that's the funny part.
Yeah, well, that made me feel bad.
When it was posted.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah, thanks, guys.
Hey, no problem. We're here to support you.
Yeah.
Well, darn it, I thought.
She's on Earth. We'll point it out. Every now and then
I should ask that.
But you know, I don't have anyone to spell check my stuff.
You can bring it.
Could someone please call Brian and tell him to log into the Zoom? You have his phone number. You have his phone number.
I think we all have.
Yeah, we all have it. Somebody starts spamming it.
I got
spamming
3
them.
of his resumes now.
Keep you covered. You got enough there. Like shred it, use it for some durable wedding.
I know we gotta have more people.
You still got like.
Anyone wanting to submit questions?
Wish the people on the internet or on Facebook would come and ask questions. They asked everybody on Facebook.
Everybody on Facebook. always has something. Hello.
They have time to prepare.
Hello.
Not too bad. Just seeing it.
No.
What's your name on it? If it's rude, inappropriate, derogatory, or otherwise vulgar or inappropriate, I will not read it out loud.
Yes.
All right. I call it. Sure, got it. Do you need
No, I
to
have
log-
to index
log
it.
on
I
to
have to have one.
Thank you, sir. All right, I'll do it. Yeah, same. It should be the same.
How many more packets are we
All right, I'll forward it to you.
I emailed it to him.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah, I just got this.
Sorry, apologize. Did you email?
Yeah, she came in, she brought me insurance and.
That side.
She brought me, her health inspection, she brought me insurance, she, had all her stuff, so, yeah. Yeah, she called me and asked me about it and said, you know, I've got these, so.
I was trying to get it something that you wanted about 3 weeks ago. And she's too busy. She might change her mind.
I don't have to wait. Any questions you want to submit? It has to be appropriate.
Because that's.
I told Mike Sherman that, he's like, I'm not asking questions about judgment.
Huh?
I told Mike Sherman that it can't be vulgar or inappropriate or derogatory and something. He said, I'm not asking about that. Super duper. There's everybody there.
Close enough. On Facebook.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Yeah, Facebook.
The only one who's logged on online is your lovely other half.
Oh, she.
Yeah. Unless they log in as her. It lets you enter whatever you want for your name, so.
I just looked mine at iPhone.
I tend to put mine as Mindy Morgan Benjamin Jensen.
Right?
You know why? Because he was number one. You don't watch much SpongeBob, do you?
No.
Mr. Pajot, any questions you want to write down to ask?
Do you see Brian on there anywhere?
No, it will make a little doorbell noise at us. I emailed it to him, as long as the email on his resume is correct.
As long as you got the meeting ID and passcode.
Thank you, sir. You too.
Just loading.
Yes. Was somebody able to let Kelly in? Stephen Kelly? When you were upstairs, did somebody let you in up there?
I got them off. I got
It was
side-
unlocked?
Yeah, you got it unlocked. You can unlock it from the inside. Luckily, Sarah was.
Wiley Harrison. Well, I admit. Didn't I? Did I admit him? Spencer. Okay, now,
We can send him.
yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to do that.
Call this special meeting to order, 6 p.m. April 28th, 2023. This is an open interview for a candidate for city administrator. This is the candidate that I'm presenting to the council for recommendation. So half the council has interviewed Mr. Spencer, and the other half of the council has not had an opportunity, and neither has the public. So wanting to give the opportunity for the rest of the council and the public to interview Mr. Spencer. And Brian, can you hear us? All right, hold on, we can't hear you.
How do I unmute him? Where did she go? Yeah, I'm clicking on his name. It's doing nothing. No, not what I wanted.
Okay, where his name is over there on the side, Mariah,
This is microphone.
should go
Down here, right?
Down.
No, it's
to.
every time I click on it, that's what it does.
You're right there, where it shows his name on the side, where it's clicking on all that, you should be able to click that microphone. It should, yeah. Yeah. There you go. And then you have to mute it from his side.
All right, Brian, you need to unmute from your side. It looks like.
I'm unmuted.
There you go. You're good now.
Thank you.
So Brian, if you would you mind kind of going over your resume with us as far as where you kind of kicked off and started off your career and where you're at now and what you look forward to doing in the future?
Where do you want me to start off with my resume? You want me to start like I did last time, or?
If you don't mind, Brian, if you would.
All right, so I grew up on a small farm in Rolla, Missouri, and my dad owned a construction company. And if you know anything about farm kids, they work, they know how to work. My dad had me on a bulldozer at the age of 14, and so I worked very hard, and I knew I did not want a life like that. I have mad respect for farmers, and I have mad respect for people who work in construction. But that was not my pathway. So I knew that my other side of the my mom's side of the family, there was a lot of teachers. I knew I was going to be a teacher. And I went to Culver Stockton. I got my degree in social science education. And I was able to do that, being debt-free, working my way through college and scholarships and different avenues of attaining money. So I graduated debt-free. Once I got done with college, I was hired on in the Francis House School District, where I spent 22 years of my life. It was a good time. I think I made a difference in a lot of people, a lot of students' lives. So much for that after they graduated and started having families of their own, they decided at a softball game at the watering hole that they were going to nominate me for Hall of Fame in education. And I was inducted into the Hall of Fame for education, and also have received many awards, the SEAM Award and so forth in education. Once I got the Hall of Fame award, I've always been involved in the community. I worked at Riverport Amphitheater, where I was started off as just a cashier, but within a short amount of time, I was assistant general manager for all of Riverport. Roughly had 400 volunteers that I supervised, and probably about 75 to 100 employees that I supervised. I also worked at Rascals Ballpark, Metropolitan Psychiatric Center, for the criminally insane. I worked at a lot of different places. I'm kind of a workaholic. But anyway, the students after that, because I volunteer so much in the community with church and the Junior Chamber of Commerce, the JCs, they often ask me to run for public office. I've always said no. I was very happy where I was at, and making a difference in the lives that I was making a difference in. But once I got the Hall of Fame induction for education, they came back to me and said, if you make a difference in this small of a circle, can you make a difference if the circle is bigger? Can you make a bigger difference if the circle is bigger? That weighed very heavy on my heart. I decided to run for the Missouri House of Representatives, and I was successful in my bid. I served all 8 years or 4 terms. We have term limits in Missouri, so I was termed out. After that, while I was being the state representative, I taught at a school in Wright City, Missouri called Liberty Christian Academy. I taught there. I received lots of acclamations as well there, being Region 9 Teacher of the Year, which is 14 different counties. After that, I decided to run for Senate, and I was not successful. I was running to be your senator. I was not successful in that realm. So I needed a job. At Liberty Christian, I really don't do things too terribly much for money. I need to be able to survive. But after the Senate run, I needed a job. Liberty Christian only paid $20,000 a year and no insurance. And I definitely needed insurance. So I decided to take a sabbatical, and I hit the scramble button, and I have a cousin that lives in Florida, and he's like, come on down. So I came on down to Florida 10 months ago, and I got a job teaching at Nassau County Public School. And in 4 months' time, I am Florida's Teacher of the Year for the entire state. And then I got word of this position opening. I thought this would be a new challenge, new experience, and a new way I can make a difference in the lives of people. So I thought this was a great opportunity for me to go forward on and put my resume in for consideration. I don't know what else I said last time. I just talked. Is there any questions for me?
Yeah, Brian, so as far as last time, so what did you do while you was a state representative, you won, and what committees you sat on and experience with? And-
Okay, so while I was I served on several different committees. I was vice chair of education. I was chairman of student accountability. I was vice chair of employment security. I sat on the budget committee and the appropriations chair. So I dealt with the state budget, which was at that time $28 billion. So I have experience with budgets. I've worked with cities and helped them with grants. I've solved many issues in a lot of different categories. I worked with MoDOT. I worked with developers and realtors a lot with the Homeowners Protection Act that was traveling around, that's still traveling around, but I have a lot of people that I'm still in contact with in Jefferson City that I'm friends with. And if someone is not getting representation from their senator, I don't mind making a few phone calls, being a former state rep, and seeing what I can do.
Okay, what are some of the goals that you envision laying out for the city of Louisiana?
Well, my mom served on the Missouri Tourism Committee for forever. It seems like, I mean, she's still a ex officio member of the Missouri Tourism Board, but she served, I'm going to say 40, 50 years on that board. First thing I know about Louisiana is the nostalgic quaintness of the town. It's beautiful with all the different architectures and the river and that kind of stuff. I can see bringing a lot more tourism dollars into Louisiana. I also see a possibility of bringing some light industry and some more. I like mom and pop shops the best, but industry and retail to Louisiana. I'm hoping that Louisiana will be a business friendly community that will like to have more employment opportunities and more shopping opportunities.
So how would you go about doing that?
Well, since I've made it to the second interview, I've already contacted several different developers, one of them being a light industry a developer, and they said, yeah, if you get the position, we'll be happy to come up to Louisiana and do an assessment and see what we can do for the community there, as far as bringing some of the light industries and some of the retail facilities to our town, as well as possibly some housing.
Council, any questions from any of the council members?
I have a couple. So do you still currently have connections with the state representative, Mr. Perkins, as well as Mr. Fitzwater? Do you still have those connections that you can help us reach out to them and kind of bridge that gap?
That would probably be under a weakness of mine. Mr. Perkins and I are not the best of acquaintances, but I still have a lot of friends in Jefferson City that will be glad to help us out if I ever need them to. As well as the Senate. I have 6 of my colleague friends in the Senate that I can call up and ask for anything for a constituent concern or even legislative, and I can advocate with them. Just because myself and Mr. Perkins are on different sides of the fence doesn't mean I can't work with people in Jefferson City to get something accomplished for Louisiana.
The only other question I have, one I think. It's clear that you're obviously a people person. You've gone very far with that in life. What experience do you have with street or enterprises, anything like that?
I heard talking. I could not make out the words.
So she is asking as far as experience running a city, as far as street department, water department, sewer department, and the such?
Well, I have experience in a lot of different areas as far as law enforcement goes. I mean, I was part of the police explorers growing up. I have 4 or 5 law enforcement individuals in my family. I have resources. I've dealt with legislation that deals with law enforcement, so I'm familiar with policies. As far as working with individuals, I'm not an expert in every category, but one of my major strengths is I know people. You know, I don't buy anything that says some assembly required because I know I'm not very constructionally inclined, even though my father owned a construction company. But I have friends that I can call and resources, and I can connect people to get the job accomplished.
My last question is, knowing the state of Louisiana right now, how would you handle a plaintiff citizen?
Well, same way I handled angry constituent or a concerned constituent for the different legislation. The first thing I want to do is I want to listen and find out what their actual cause is. And then the next thing I'm going to do for them is research, find the own answers, you know, what is the obstacle or the issue at hand that needs to be solved. And then I'm going to look for solutions and try to resolve the matter in the best way possible.
Thank you.
So Brian, have you had that experience that you listened to the council or part of the council at your last interview, dealing with angry parents, students, or constituents? You made reference before some personal assaults and
Oh, yeah. So I've dealt with a lot of different things. One of my things that I was hired for was I worked at Metropolitan Psychiatric Center with the criminally insane. I got lots of stories there, but that's not appropriate for now. I've dealt with a lot of hot, heated issues in Jefferson City where there's protest. You know, the right to work issue is an issue for me that I personally don't care about. However, I had to care about it because my constituents cared about it, both for and against. And that was hot and heated. You know, I've been spit on, assaulted. My truck has been vandalized. They threatened to burn down my house. All kinds of things have happened. But, you know, I stay true to truth. And, you know, what I did in that situation is, you know, the first 2 times that came up to vote, thinking that the GM plant was in my district, and that's a hard union. The carpenters headquarters was in my district, and the painters were right outside my district, less than 5 miles, and the laborers were like about 7 miles outside of my district. And so I had a pretty, I thought was a heavy union area. And so I voted no, thinking that that's what the people wanted. And I got beat up from both sides by voting no. And then so after that happened, I needed to know exactly how the people felt about the right to work issue. So I sent out a survey to every voting household asking them about right to work. And it came back like 58% in favor. And I tallied them up at the VFW hall in Winsville, which is about 80% union. There's a lot of iron workers there and carpenters and whatnot. And it came back and they saw what people were writing. And some of the people were union members that were writing, asking me to vote yes on right to work. I'm glad eventually it went to the ballot and let everybody vote on it. That way, hopefully that issue has been resolved permanently. But at the time, I was doing my best to make sure that I was voting the voice of the people. And that's why I sent out not one survey, but I sent out 2 surveys. The first survey, the Carpenters Union came to me and said, well, that's not a fair question. It's biased. And I'm like, well, I'll tell you what, I will pay for the postage and another survey out of my own pocket. And you write the question on Right to Work. And so the Carpenters Union wrote the question and I mailed it out. And again, I tabulated the results of the surveys in front of union members, and it still came back in favor of Right to Work in the district. So I kept my yes vote.
Got a question. Water treatment plant, sewers and streets. Have you had any dealings with this? I mean, personally, not, have you had any contact with this item?
I know I spent 3 weeks in running a ditch witch and putting together a sewage pipe for that for the what was that subdivision called? I think it was Tree Line Wood subdivision. I spent 3 weeks putting together sewage pipes, so that's probably the extent of it. So like I said, I'm not an expert in everything, but I'm going to have to rely on other experts and know how to listen to the experts and make a rash decision. It's the same way with being an alderman. I mean, you all have your own strengths and weaknesses, and you have knowledge that I don't have, and I may have knowledge that you don't have. But I'm sure that through communication back and forth, we can identify the problem and work to find ways to solve the problems, whether I am an expert on sewage or water or not. I do have the luxury of sitting on the utilities committee, and I definitely learned a lot through that committee, but I wouldn't call myself an expert in those categories.
Would you listen to the employees of the water works and the street departments when they have concerns and suggestions on how to get things done? Would you listen to them, or would you still say, well, we're going to do it my way?
Let me see if I understood you correctly. Did you ask me if I would listen to the employees of the waterworks and street department? Is that what you said?
Yes, sir.
Is that the question? I can't hear you.
Yes, the question is, if we're getting ready to do something inside the city limits and we're having issues, and we have these employees that have worked in that area and done these issues with the waterworks and with the street department, would you listen to what their advice was in dealing with the situation at hand? Or would you just do what you thought would be best?
Well, I'm going to listen. I'm going to listen to the employees. But you know, I may make a few other phone calls, and I may have a couple extra eyeballs on the issue, and maybe throw some of their comments into the mix for consideration. But you know, I find it amazing. Like I have been a teacher for 32 years, and you know, everybody feels they're an expert because they graduated high school. I realize that, you know, I have a sound mind and I can make decisions, but in order for me to make a good decision, it's important for me to talk to the people that are actually in the trenches doing the work in order for me to make my decision.
Or is there any questions from the public?
We have one submitted by Mike Sherman. How would your political connections benefit our town?
Well, you know, I've been very fortunate. You know, my dad is a staunch Democrat. My mom is a staunch Republican. I am a Republican. However, that should never get in the way of doing what's right. I mean, right and wrong is more important than Republican and Democrat. I am fortunate enough to have endorsed and supported Democrat candidates over Republicans because they were the best candidate for the job. The perfect example is in Ward 3 of Wentzville. I have supported Mike Hayes, who is a staunch Democrat, because of 3 things. He listens to the people, he has the heart of the people, and he's not bought and sold by special interest. So that's the reason why I support Mike Hayes when he ran for alderman, and I know he's a staunch Democrat. We get along just fine. I had Democrats working on my Senate campaign because they may not agree with me on certain issues, but they know I'm fair, they know I listen, and they know I try to do the right thing. It's not necessarily an ideology of Republican and Democrat. I don't really fall, I mean, half the time in Jefferson City, the Republicans were mad at me anyway, because I don't follow those type of ideas. I try to listen to the people, actually be a voice for the people. And I also try to do what's right, because right and wrong is more important than any R or D behind a person's name.
I'm gonna follow up on that. So, I got a couple of questions to follow up immediately with that. As far as, do you see it beneficial to the city of Louisiana with you having your past experience within the state government?
Well, with all of the state offices being in the Republican hands, with there being a super majority in the Senate and the House, I see that me being a Republican is beneficial to the city of Louisiana.
So let me ask you this question. Our community mirrors somewhat the national trend of being divided 50-50 or 49-51. And people in the community will target you and tag you as being on one side versus the other. How would you remain neutral and benefit the whole city versus the divide?
So you focus on the issue. I mean, I'm not going to be dealing with issues that deal with abortion in the city of Louisiana. I'm going to be dealing with, there's a pothole in the street. How can we get that fixed? I'm going to be dealing with that the water pressure is not very strong in this area of town. How am I going to get that fixed? I'm going to be dealing with issues that there's a certain developer wanting to come to our city, and is that a good fit for our city, and do they meet the policies that the city has made, both the current mayor and council and the mayor and council of the past, because what is written in policy is what I need to follow. That's my guideline. It has nothing to do with Republican and Democrat. But if they want to turn that into an issue, I'm just going to turn it in. This is a problem that we need to solve. These are the policies that I need to follow that have been labeled as guidelines, and this is what we're going to do, because this is what the city and the council. My job is working for the council. Your job is working for the people. And so so when you ask me to research something or find something out, I mean, I'm going to do my best to advocate and accomplish the goals that you put in front of me. As far as solving problems in the city, I'm going to try and do a good job in advocating and solving the issues that the constituents have with their daily lives that involves the city. As far as my political guidelines, that shouldn't come into a play at all, because it has nothing to do with Republican or Democrat.
So what would be your 90-day outlook? What would you do in your first 90 days?
The first 90 days, the first thing I'm going to do is I plan on meeting with all the aldermen and the mayors and getting your vision of the city, because that is my goal, is to promote your vision of the city. The next thing I want to do is I want to be able to talk to each of the department heads of the different areas of services provided by Louisiana and find out what their needs are. What do they do well? What do they need help with? What resources can I look at obtaining for them so they can do their job better to serve the people? And that's basically going to be my 90 days. I'm also going to be reaching out to people who are investors and people who are have something to contribute to our community and see how we can find a fit for them. But of course, that's all going to be done through your permission and your guidance. And I'm just going to be putting things on the table for you to examine to decide if this is something that you want to do. As a matter of fact, I mean, you are the ones that are elected by the people. My job, I work for you.
Maria,
So Mike Sherman wanted to clarify on his question. He asked, can you look into getting grant monies for the city, especially grant monies regarding infrastructure?
Well, I was successful in getting an overpass for working with Wentzville and getting 2 overpasses. I've been successful in helping. I mean, I can't take all the credit because there's a lot of people involved, but fixing the S curve on Highway 70, that is going to be started in 2024, and I did a lot of work in that category. I'm also going to be I'm going to be getting for Warren County on and off ramps for Strex Church Road, and I'm one of many, probably one of the flag bearers of that one. But I've been able to work with MoDOT to get a lot of MoDOT projects done. So yeah, I feel like I can write grants. I've gotten a couple small grants, and then I participated in the storm alert shelter in Truesdale, Missouri. I cannot take credit for that, but I was one of the voices around the table.
Citizen Cassie Cordes would like to know your ideas for bringing the budget under control and to begin to put funds back into the city's coffers.
All right, that's a really good question. So the first thing I would like to see happen with the city of Louisiana is there needs to be an audit, because there needs to be a strong line between the people who came before me and me. I mean, I need to be accountable for my actions and my spending. But you know, so I just need to know where my starting line is. Once I know where my starting line is, I can evaluate budgets, evaluate need based upon the advice and consultations from you all, as well as the people who are in the trenches working. So that's how I'm going to keep. I think the city needs to have a minimum of 6 months in reserve. So I'll be working to find ways to put that in there. And there's, you know, one of my strengths is putting together different events. I'm actually at Hilliard, Florida right now. They have a need, and I have several elected officials coming in tomorrow, both Republican and Democrat, and we are doing an event here that is going to be raising money. And I would rather see us raise money for certain events than to raise taxes. And so we are doing an event here tomorrow. It should be a huge event. We got lots of vendors, and we're going to be raising money for needs that are here.
That's all the questions I've been given.
you want to always need another question? All right. Well, Brad, I think that's all the questions that we have for now. But if you would, please stay on.
Okay, I just have one final statement. You know, when you come to me and you want to know something, I'm going to give you an answer. It may not be the answer you want, but it will be a truthful answer with the information I have in front of me. And so you will get an answer. And if I don't know the answer, I will find the answer. And something happened to the screen, so I don't know if I'm still on.
You're on.
Okay.
All other questions? All right, I'll entertain a motion to close session, allowing the council members, of course, and the city clerk and Brian Spencer. First, and second, so Councilman Sutter, Councilwoman Arno seconded, and take roll call, please.
Councilman Keller, Councilman Bell,
Yes.
Councilman Jordan,
Yes.
Councilman Price.
Yes.
Councilman Sutter. Councilwoman Ardeno,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sherman, Councilman Gott.
Yes.
And, when you're close session. Can you, stop the recording and also,
More reasons. Okay.
so we have a first and a second to approve the mayor's appointment of Brian Spencer. We are now in discussion.
My biggest concern was he's got a lot of great connections, but when it comes down to actually being able to personally have that ability, it was constantly, his response was, I have that connection, I can go to that. So, and that's my only concern is that.
So we're going to pause this just for a second because I hear people coming. And we're getting people. No. Well, so we're gonna restate this again.
No, that is free.
I
It was a
know,
woman.
I know, I'm not gonna try and knock you off soon. We're taking another minute.
Thank you.
Making sure I got this right. Making sure.
Okay, so to recap, we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit. We want the public to be fully aware. So I entertain a motion, or I asked for someone to entertain a motion to accept my appointment of Brian Spencer for city administrator. We do have a first by Councilman Bell and seconded by Councilman Price. And we are now opening the floor up for the council. Any discussion?
So for the third time here. So my concern that I have, and it's really the only one I have, is he's a great fit. He's got a lot of connections, which is wonderful for the city. My big thing was when I asked a question about, what do you know about streets and enterprise? And Mr. Gott asked the same thing. He said, I have those connections. I can get somebody in here. I can get that knowledge. And I love that he wants to get the knowledge. He wants to learn to do it, but it just seemed more like he could delegate that out to somebody else or something. It was the lack of being able to do it himself at this time.
So with that, I hear what you're saying, but I also heard that he would rely on our city employees and our department heads to understand what the situation is, and that he would also, if he questioned that he would ask other people that he may know to get the answer to see if it correlates. So,
No offense to our city right now, but we're completely lacking to ask.
yeah, but I'm gonna tell you this, as such, and this may be wrong to say it, but I'm really proud of the employees who have stood up and are taking the bull by the horn, so to speak,
Yeah,
that they are getting things done.
we're definitely getting employees that want to learn.
And
and do
they
a job.
want, they have the motivation and so forth, and this is something that we haven't really experienced before as far as not knocking it past administrators or anything like that, but ones that may have taken a hands-on approach should maybe this time let's focus on a hands-on approach to the needs of the city instead of the department heads, right?
That's why we hired the employees to understand and learn their position.
Exactly.
So, any other discussion? Hearing none, would you please take the roll?
Councilman Bell,
Yes.
Councilman Jordan,
Yeah.
Councilman Price,
Yes.
Councilman Sutter.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ardeno, abstain. Councilwoman Sherman,
Yes.
Councilman Gott.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. That's all, on the only business we have. So make motion to adjourn?
Next question.
Immediate clarification.
Yes.
And so have you guys just now voted to hire Ryan Spencer as a city administrator?
Yeah, so that's my appointment. So the next step for clarification, and this is probably what your question was, we will draft an agreement of terms. And we'll probably bring that to the council again in written form. So the terms that Mr. Spencer has and what we are willing to give will be mutual. So that's not authorizing that. We're authorizing him the position, or authorizing me to offer him the position. So I guess that's pretty wordy.
But we're not there.
You really like him.
Yeah.
Right.
So, outside of that, motion to adjourn.
Second,
Second, all those in favor say yes.
yes,
Yes. Linda said she's got a date night, she's gotta go.
I don't got no date night. I go to bed like it's tomorrow.
Nobody knew what I
Every hour and a half, 1 hour beyond bedtime.
End this.
Yeah. I don't know what story he's talking about.